And now, The Bonfire with Big J. Okerson and Dan Soder.
I love the cocaine, I love the cocaine.
I love the cocaine.
I like this.
Can't wait to tell our guests that Christine used to pump this song. I think she was cool.
While doing
Because she
cocaine.
did cocaine.
While doing cocaine.
I was 16.
What a dildo. Swinging a baggie.
I got it. Party time.
Party time. Everybody, it's The Bonfire. Faction Talk Series XM 103. Big Jokers and Dan Soder. Our guest, everybody, has a new special, The Ghost of Academic Future. It's streaming right now on YouTube. It's Liz Miele, everybody.
Hi, guys.
First time on the show, right?
No, I did it I zoomed it. I zoomed it with you guys. And then I think I was here before the Zoom.
You were.
So now I just feel sad that you don't remember all the times I was here.
Long-time friend of the show, Liz Miele's here, everybody.
Can I,
Edit and post, guys.
we're live on the air.
We're live. It's out there.
You know what I also do is I love when I know you're taking the intro of a guest because I feared of doing that every time. I'm like,
Never been here before.
never been here before. I mean, I did it to Sebastian.
Oh, yeah.
I walked out. I was like, hey, nice to meet you. He's like, I was on your show.
I did the show before.
I was in the studio doing your show.
You gabon.
I did it outside. And then I remembered. I said, nice meeting you, and then I realized she was on the show plenty of times.
Damn, dude.
Okay, guys, we're all replaceable.
Wow.
I know that.
I know,
What the
Liz.
frig?
We're all just spark plugs. They just plug in new ones, and then the rest of us.
There's
fucking
nothing
go away.
special about me.
No, that's not true.
There is a special about you, and it's called the Ghost of Academic Future.
Last time you were here in studio was awesome. DJ Luke, give us a couple of the highlights. Remember?
Can we do some Lou rundown? One of your famous Lou's rundowns.
Give us one of the, by the way, this guy's got a photographic. He remembers everything from everything.
So as you were talking, he's like, what a maroon.
Yeah, he's like, what a stupid ass. I remember the bits we did last time she was here. Lou, take it away. What
I
were
got
those
some
bits?
drops. You got drops of them.
Remember from the last time?
So much pressure.
Just passing the buck to someone. What are you saying?
Guy's usually a catalog.
During the commercial break, I was asking you, we're doing drug songs, like songs that make you...
It's
But
funny.
specifically want to do drugs.
Yeah, not like songs that freak you out about drugs.
No, I think of songs that I did drugs to, therefore but like this one actually makes a lot of sense. Like Tom Petty's Last Dance with Mary Jane. Like I smoked pot with my friends to that, and then we thought it was all same kind of vibes, like 16, thought we were cool.
Yeah.
We're like, we know this is about weed. Like you
I
know?
genuinely thought it was about loving a dead woman.
Yeah, okay.
I just
So
went
did
with the video.
So did I. Dude, if you made a music video, I immediately interpreted your song as that.
I thought I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. It's about a bat guy who lives in a thing and rides a motorcycle.
With a smoking hot lady who just wears gowns.
Yeah, and just like a troll monster in a castle.
Yeah, dude. I thought November Rain ended with fucking Axl Rose being trapped in a grave looking up.
Who finished that music video or that song? It's the longest. When it comes on the radio, I immediately switch it off. It's like a 9-minute song.
The
November
craziest
Rain?
moment of my life.
It's got to be. You got to be in the right mood, but when you're in the right mood,
It is. It's a great,
such
song, but
it's
you're
a
just
lot.
like, dude,
It timed out perfectly one time when I was ending a shift at K-Rock, and I was in the old O&A studios, and they had these big windows that looked out, and I called my girlfriend at the time, and she's like, I'm going out with my friends, come out. And it was like 2 a.m. And I was like, I don't want to go out. I just finished working. And as that phone call started, it was November Rain. And we fought through the entire 7-minute song to the point where the crescendo hit and we were both yelling at each other. It was like, and I was like, because I'm not coming out.
Somebody.
Because I was like, I just fucking worked. I just worked the whole fucking shift. And she's like, oh, I go out with your friends all the time. You and Joe List get drunk all the time.
Also, like, work, what was it, an hour?
I was at K-Rock. I did a 4-hour shift.
Whoa.
And I'm sorry, but I brought the New York's only new rock to the airwaves. So.
True.
92.3.
Everyone, Scott Weiland's
WXRK.
solo album next. Up next, Scott Weiland's solo.
Maybe you can
solo
take it
song.
to a dysfunctional family picnic on 92.3 WXRK K-Rock.
I'm blown away still that Last Dance for Mary Jane is about weed.
Wait,
I'm sorry to break that to you.
You just learned that.
Yeah.
Like right now.
2 seconds ago.
You at least know it's a euphemism for weed, right, Mary Jane?
I do know that.
Okay, I was really worried about how you were raised.
Wait, so that whole song was about the dork quitting smoking weed?
No, it's I guess it's about quitting. That makes
She's
sense.
Ironically, around the time of that song is when he got into heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was just like, this isn't good enough for me.
That might be what it is. Yeah, it's not working anymore.
Is
Gotta
this an
ramp up.
anti-weed song? Are you sure?
I don't think it's an anti-weed. I don't know. People
I thought it
move
was
on.
a pro necrophilia.
For real, dude.
Also, I thought Tom Petty was dead in this video also.
He died pretty recently, right? A couple years ago?
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
Tom Petty rules.
From heroin.
No.
It was from he did a was it fentanyl or was it was fentanyl?
It was definitely fentanyl, something like that.
But I'm
He
saying, but
did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, damn.
He started doing heroin in his 40s, though. which
Good
is
for
weird.
you. It's never too late to really
That's
apply
what
yourself.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying with this music. I'm trying to find songs that I'm going to try some heroin to or
No,
something.
dude, I don't want to deal with opiate, Jay.
No, but then I'll jump on the ups. Don't worry. I'm going to have the cocaine's going to even me out.
No, I can't do that, dude. I can't
man.
have you come in here sweaty and tired.
You want me shaking?
Yeah.
You want me shaking from the fucking DTs?
I don't care. I'll give you a stern talking to.
You gonna
Why do you
lock me
think
in
I'm
a
growing
room?
my beard out? I'm
You gonna
getting
lock me
ready.
in a room?
I'm getting ready to walk away from you when it gets too much.
I like that. Like a stern father look. Like I'm disappointed in you.
Jason, I cannot be around here anymore.
Well, who needs you then?
No, get
Who
yourself
fucking needs
yourself
you?
cleaned up, and then I'll show up later.
And then I start
just
calling you dad, and you're like,
Get yourself-
Then you feel embarrassed for me too. You're like, look at yourself.
Christine, clean him up. And then I show back up with a mustache when you're okay, and that's the way men fences.
We go,
And
hey.
I'm wearing a soft sweater.
I didn't
We go
know
ahead.
facial hair had so many secret applications.
Oh, because you women think we're so simple with
Well, I
our
wanna come back-
penises and our muscles.
I want to come back and apologize to Dan for what I would realize now after being in the program for a while and finding Christ, what I put him through.
Yeah.
So I go to see Dan where he's playing acoustic guitar at a coffee shop.
Or
Very sweatery.
Or can I tell you right now, because I'm going to have a full mustache,
Okay.
woodworking.
Okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
In a
I see that for
garage.
you.
For yourself.
Yeah,
just for
just-
yourself.
Just whittling. Just out there whittling.
I was thinking woodworking like birdhouse, maybe some cabinetry.
And I think Katie will be drying her hands with something. And she'll
She
go,
sees me first, and
Yeah.
she goes, "Han,
She goes, Dan.
visitor."
And I go, hold on, Katie.
And then when I walk by her, we don't really say much, but I go, Katie, and she goes, "It's good to see you, Jay."
He's in the garage.
Yeah.
Good to
What's
see you.
crazy is you both have the faces for that now. Like I don't think you have to wait.
Let's just do it right now.
I go,
Let's just get to it.
Katie. She goes, "Hey, Jay."
Hey, Jay.
She's in the garage.
We missed you.
He's in the garage.
No, or she's going to hit you with, hey, Jay. Good to see you back.
She goes, "Diet Peach Snapple." I go, "Yeah."
We'll be right in, I guess.
Cue the music.
We got some- we got
Last dance,
some-
Mary Jane.
got some talking to do. Yeah, what drugs did you do?
I was 14 years old. The first night
damn,
I
dude.
ever did anything, I did liquid ecstasy, pill ecstasy, had my first beer, had my first cigarette,
All in the same night.
all in the same night. I was 14 years
I bet
old.
the cigarettes, the thing that probably made you the most nauseous.
Did they let you into the Hells Angels? Or were you allowed just bottom
She
rocker?
goes, "It was the sickest brownie initiation ever."
Your first drug was ecstasy?
Yeah. So
Liquid ecstasy.
my
crazy.
My best friend at the time, her sister was, so we were freshmen. Her sister was a junior and was like super popular, and her parents worked at night, so they had this like huge rage of a party, and literally people were like, watch them make we made sure they made sure we had water, because like I learned about ecstasy like when I was like 16. I was like, oh, I could have like fried my brain because I did so much ecstasy.
Yeah,
but
or
they
just
made
felt
us
the best.
but they made sure that we were like super hydrated, and then she was also like, nobody touched them. So like literally there was like 7 people watching us to make sure nobody touched us, and then we drank a lot of water, and it was so
Adults?
fun. Yeah, well they were like 16-year-olds
okay.
watching
And they
14-year-olds.
this was after they gave you ecstasy.
A lot of drugs, yeah.
So they're like,
And
gave you
drugs.
ecstasy, and they're like,
Keep
give
'em
her
wet.
water.
Yeah. Oh God.
Guys, these plants can't dry out.
Keep him wet. Kick him back into the pool.
Yeah.
My favorite memory from that, because I don't remember a lot, but my favorite memory is that her parents did come home probably at like 3 a.m. So like everything like cleaned up at like 2, And so I remember my friend Ashley, we had a sleepover. I'm in her bed.
We're scissoring. We're
Yeah,
just
we're
getting
scissoring.
after it.
But basically she goes, hey, my dad's going to come in and just like check to see that we're here, and just don't say anything. And I was like, totally. And she goes, Liz, don't say anything. Just pretend you're asleep. Don't say. I was
You're like,
"Yeah."
"I won't be saying anything. I'll be sucking my friend's hair."
Give me your thumb. Give me your thumb real quick.
So her dad comes in, literally just kind of looks and shuts the door, and she's like, you okay? And I was like, there's a light show in my head.
Yeah.
Do you think he saw it?
Right. No, and you're done doing drugs. Dude, I had a friend, my buddy Joey Owens showed up at our door in high school just on like a Wednesday, and his girlfriend's parents were out of town, so he was like staying over there. And he came over to my house and he was like, I got into a fight with Maggie. I'm on mushrooms. Can I stay here? And it was a school night. I was like, let me talk.
Maggie?
His girlfriend at the time.
Yeah,
And I was like,
that was already like over his drug
Can
use.
I stay here on a school night because his girlfriend and him are fighting?
Yeah.
His mom didn't care if you stayed over your house?
Nah. So
They
he...
didn't have school night sleepovers.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
only had a
that's-
couple friends that could pull it off, and Joey was one of them.
No one thought you were going to school that next day. There's no way.
My dad was crazy strict, but my friend Amanda was that kind of friend. Like, if I was like, hey, Amanda's not okay, can she sleep over? My dad'd be like, okay.
Yeah. So my mom was like, I didn't even really ask her because Joey was like, hey, I'm on mushrooms. Can I stay over here? And I was like, yeah, go for it, dude. So I just let him in the house.
That sucks, dude. You're not on mushrooms?
Well,
Now you're babysitting.
I was smoking a cigarette. So, I mean, I like to smoke.
What are you, 7 in the story?
I was 16. But I liked smoking. So, you know how it is. You get an excuse to get a cigarette. And you're like, I guess I'll throw some slides on and go have a smoke outside. And Joey's just fucking booming. I just come outside and he's chattering. His eyes are fucking wide. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to bed because it's school night. And he's like, yeah, cool. He's like, I'll come in a little bit. Never came in. He just left.
You got a stray cat of a friend.
He left, and then he called me. He called my phone.
Did you leave a Rice Krispie out for him or something?
No, I went outside and talked to him.
Is it safe in the middle of the night for him to be wandering around on mushrooms in your town?
It was the suburbs. Whatever, dude. He was fine.
It's Aurora, though.
You know he's a werewolf now.
But he called me, and I heard him because my bedroom was upstairs, and I heard him
Shuffling in the trees?
No, I heard he called me, and I could hear his voice outside, and I was like, "Dude, are you outside?" And he's like, "Yeah,
I don't know."
He goes, "I'm not gonna sleep over. I'm just gonna go home." And I'm like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll be fine." He's like, "Also, your street's so quiet right now. It feels like a movie studio." And I was like, "Oh, damn, you're tripping, huh?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then next day was at school. I don't think he showed up the next day, but he was there the day after. And it was like, yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Oh man, if there were iPhones, he would have made a short film.
Dude, Joey Owens threw up all over the back of McDaniel's Mustang in high school because he was so fucked up.
Really?
What is he doing now?
He's a bartender in Vegas. He rules.
Okay, I was going to say, he's
McDaniels,
either
the head coach
dead
of the
or he's
Miami
doing something
Dolphins.
crazy.
Yeah, McDaniel's the head coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, the other guy in the story is the head coach of the Miami Dolphins now. How
For real?
fucking crazy is that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, he threw up in the back seat of the head coach of Miami Dolphins 2-seater Mustang. Or
He's like,
fucking
"Dude."
two-door. Yeah. He's like, it was right in the front of my house. He's like, and the door opens and McDaniel's like, real cool, Joey. Real cool.
You destroyed the awesomest thing I'll ever own.
And Joey just comes
A
out.
two-door Mustang.
He was wearing a Mark Echo sweatshirt, and he got out of the back, and he went, "Oh yeah, it's all over me." It was just Joey would laugh, and his nostrils would flare up like that. He would call them El Diablo because he'd just fucking do crazy shit. I don't know. Joey was wild.
People are starting to like. I'm so grateful that iPhones didn't exist in like 01.
Oh my God.
But people are starting to now put like what Y2K is trending. So like Y2K pictures are going up on the internet now for the first time. And it looks like all my high school friends. I have an album of those pictures, and those pictures have never seen the light of the internet. And
Oh yeah, no, they're in a box in a drawer that I don't know how to open. Like
do you have young Jay photos?
Well, no, but I'm saying in the era, we've said this before in the show, I think, but the era of like today, I think it's like weird if you go to a public school and don't have naked pictures of 4 girls in the school in your phone or something, which is such a crazy thing to me. That's just something nothing even possible like that was happening in school when I was
Dude,
younger.
my buddy had a camera.
Like, it's so crazy.
My buddy and his brothers would like find these like heists, or like they would find ways to like rip off stores, basically. Like that's how I learned about the PlayStation 2 thing, where you take the code and switch it with a new one, and then you bring it back. If you have like a broken one, you just go buy a PlayStation with cash, and then you switch the barcode, and then you take the broken one back and get your cash back, and then you just have a new PlayStation 2. I learned about all these schemes from him and his brothers, and he had a video camera, and he would like record stuff, and it was our senior year, and he was at all these parties, and he got these girls we were friends with to flash the camera, because we remember being like, dude, you got him to flash? Like, let me see. And we're like,
Yeah, everyone's got to gather around the tube television with a VCR to see these boobs for us.
Like
These grainy footage boobs.
like 6 years ago.
720 boobs, not even 1080. 720.
No, so I'm talking tube television.
I remember about 6 years ago, that buddy was like, dude, I found a box with all the tapes from high school. And one of my other buddies on our text thread was like, yo, is so-and-so flashing the camera on there? And my buddy wrote back, well, they were teenagers, so if I find that, I'm deleting that video. And my buddy was like, no, man, I remember it was so cool. He goes, they were 16. We're not going to look for that. And then he looked and all of them, something got fucked up and all of them magnetically got erased. So he didn't have... He found like one tape that just had a bunch of random
Just only
shit on
dicks.
it.
And
just
it's like,
penises.
of course the dicks
Hot
made it.
young cocks.
I just had somebody from like I worked at the Comedy Magic Club from 2005 to 2008, and we go to the beach all the time.
Oh yeah, someone showed that video of you.
Somebody sent files. Like, apparently you just didn't really notice cameras, so people would be filming and we'd just be talking on the beach, like not acting like anybody was filming, and then all of a sudden I got like a file of all these videos from those years.
We gotta get your tapes.
The comedy ones?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're pretty good.
Do you have your like VH? I've had somebody take a bunch of my VHS tapes and make them into MP4s. Like I have the first time I ever did stand up as an MP4.
Really?
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh,
It's real bad.
I've only got like one set or two.
I have a mini disc,
Ooh.
mini DVR of my first weekend.
So
Paid,
crazy.
Opening for Troy Baxley at Laughs, and it is. Only time I watched it, I was opening for Jay. This was about 11 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. It was the night that we stayed and watched Nick Cannon. It was basically the seeds of this show.
Sure.
We were going to do a Richie Redding gig, and I was featuring for Jay, and I was so hungover, and I somehow found those in a box, and I was like, and my roommate was like, oh, I can play that on my computer, and he put it in, and I was hungover, and I watched it, and I almost threw up.
Yeah,
I was
of course.
Like, I can't watch this. I can't. I just kept sipping a beer. I'd be like, no. It was awful.
It's not even just
I'm
the word.
doing hip hop arms the whole time and have a big silver cross chain on.
You're doing
Jewish.
This. You're doing this.
Oh yeah.
But that's what I was gonna say. It's
Yo,
not even the words
this
that are
motherfucker know what
embarrassing.
I'm talking about. This motherfucker right up here know what I'm talking about.
But don't you feel it's like not even the words that you're saying are the jokes? It's like the gesticulating, it's the nervous energy, it's the weird habits, like genuinely just like holding the mic weird. Like I'll literally be
yeah.
like yelling at like younger me, being like, "What?
Yeah.
Who taught you
Dude,
that?"
a mic unfurler was one of my favorite nervous ticks to see on somebody.
When they pull it off and
they're
they go,
no, but they're just constantly like.
Yeah, like they're vacuum
There's this-
cleaning.
yeah, they just a lot. Like, while they're talking to the microphone, they're just always trying to like get it like.
But in their
undone.
head, they feel like Chris Rock, like holding the mic cord
Yeah,
as he
yeah,
walks
yeah.
back.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah,
this. They just like kind of get it like out of their way a little bit.
You just
like,
want to be like, no, around your neck, around your neck.
Yeah. My favorite's when they take it and they go like, they take it off, and they like fumble with it, and then they go, okay. And they really properly hold it in front
Got
of their
it.
face. Do you guys ever notice? Oh, I fucking hate it, dude. Watching young comedy videos gives me anxiety.
Oh, buddy, I bet I got all kinds of stool fucking straight up. Fucking really just
How
being-
old? Sorry.
Good.
You were 18 when you started?
19.
How old were you when you started?
16.
Jesus.
How old are you? 40?
I was 50. I had just gotten my second divorce. I really wanted to Rodney Dangerfield.
Want a new lease on life.
Yeah. I was 21.
Okay.
I did a
When
mic.
did you move to New York? That's when I met you. Is when you moved to New York.
23.
You were so smiley. That's what I remember about meeting you. He was like, he had seen me on Comedy Central, and he's like, I saw you at Live at Gotham.
Damn,
I
Dan, is that
really
what you
enjoyed your
did?
set. He's like 6'9". I'm like down here, and I'm like, I have a boyfriend.
All right. Sorry, I was slinging it at you.
But you were just very smiley and excited to be in New York. It was
That's
actually
his
quite
game.
adorable.
Yeah, that's how I lure you in.
That's his
Yeah,
game.
it did nothing.
No, it really, I really was that smiley. I was super pumped.
That's what I
I
remembered.
was super pumped to be here the first 6 months. I was like, because I moved from Tucson. I was like, dude, there's so much shit here. I just saw Chris Rock. Like Chris Rock would walk in, or like, I'm like, Jim Norton is sitting at the fucking
It was
bar.
it was like
I was-
being around a 7-year-old that you said you could have any candy on the table.
I was just pumped because again, I'm like a comedy nerd. Like I grew up loving comedy, specifically New York comedy, tough crowd scene, all that. The movie Comedian, I like watched it 1,000 times. So when I moved
Really?
here, yeah. Dude, I loved it. I was in high school when it came out.
Same. I watched it 1,000 times.
I was like, it was like, I loved it because it gave me a short glimpse of, you know what I loved? I didn't fuck Orny and like Jerry's story when they would show like Colin and Nick at the cellar.
Yeah.
I was like, and I was like nerding out because I would listen to Opie and Anthony and stuff, and I'd be like, that's the table. By the way, it wasn't the table at the cellar, but I would watch. They never filmed the actual table, and I'd be like, that's the table at the cellar, like, you know, being like a hipster little asshole. So when I moved here, I'd be at Stand Up New York, and I'd be like, this is where Jerry tells Orny the Glenn Miller Band story. And I'd be like...
Very tall, very smiley. That was my impression.
I was a fucking nerd, dude.
It was funny, when I got to New York, the guys at the table, aside from Colin, and DePaulo had done some, you know, I've seen those guys on TV a bit, and like everyone, but like Norton and those guys I didn't really know from anything. You know what I mean? Like Florence, these guys didn't have like, really done stuff. They were like the working club comics in New York, but there was nothing like really. Pop Patrice wasn't like known around anywhere.
Yeah, he's just a good comic.
So it was funny when I got to New York, I didn't have any of like that. I'm like, whoa, Jim Norton.
Yeah.
I'm like, they say these are the dudes who were like the...
Jim Norton told my buddy good set, like in the first 6 months I was here, and we were both like, yeah, dude, fucking
I had
totally.
to tell.
This arm.
But even when I watched Attell the first time, I go, oh, wow, Dave Attell. I know because I've seen his, like, I think his half-hour Comedy Central, maybe it was at that point. And, or no, maybe it was like the,
When did you
might have been the
move
HBO one. I moved here. I started coming to New York in like 2000, 99, 2000.
I think that's when he put out.
I moved here in 2002.
I started 2002. I moved here in 2004.
Yeah.
Or
So yeah, right. So I was like pretty new up here for sure. But it was like it was fun to watch those guys go. I said Bill Burr. I've done how many shows I've done with Bill Burr for 10 people at Caroline's on a Wednesday in the afternoon, or
like
whatever.
Boston, CB's for a while.
I remember CB's.
Yeah.
But that was, now he sells out Fenway. Yeah, I showed up and it was really just, I think that's why List and I got along so well, because he was actually a comic though. Like he was working. He was opening for DePaulo and stuff, and he showed up, and I would just...
But I was a comedy nerd growing up, but I just knew all of it. Like I didn't know what like the current club comics were. I was 18. 19.
Oh yeah, I was like...
But I feel like anybody you watched on Comedy Central, like I loved like Ted Alexandro, Burr, Greg Giraldo, Mitch Hedberg.
Greg Giraldo, I knew who he was, like by recognition. I said Colin.
Premium Blend was big for me.
You know, I would say Premium Blend and half-hour specials, and then I came here and I got passed at Gotham when I was 19. I got passed at Caroline's when I was 19. Stand Up New York, Comic Strip. So like I remember like my favorite memory is I got passed at the Comic Strip when I was 19, and I got my first pay. It's like a Monday. It's $25, and my name was right under Louis C.K.'s, and I was a huge fan. And so I'm looking at it, and I was like, he gets paid $25. I get paid $25. We're the same. And as I was walking to the subway, I was like, oh my God, we both got paid $25, and we're like a 20-year age. You know what I mean? Like it was just one of those things where I was super excited, and then like Logical Liz came in, and I was like, what am I doing with my life?
Like, this guy's at the top of his game, and we're both getting $25.
It was crazy. Like it was so funny to me so early to be like, this is not a lucrative career.
Yeah, dude.
Well, to me, I was told the lucrative, especially when you first come in and you're young, they go like, buddy, you don't even have to work past, like if you just get 45 together and go do colleges, you're going to be great. And then I got 45 together, and I didn't realize that colleges are really, you don't have to be clean, but they don't want you to be dirty.
No.
Yeah.
And whenever I would do colleges, I'm like, you know, blah, 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 black joke. And then they're like, boo. And I was like, I guess I'm never going to make money, because they were always like, college is how you make money.
Yeah.
$3,000. You can get $3,000 a night for doing these colleges. I was like,
yeah,
and then
so
Bill Burr,
and
then Bill Burr's thing was like, even though he wasn't drawing or anything, because his act, he did colleges, he was able to buy an apartment in Manhattan based off of just like NACA stuff.
Really?
Yeah,
that's when he got that.
Yeah.
The one that DeRosa lived in?
Yes. Yeah, it was off like money.
I slept on that couch, very drunk before, because of Joe DeRosa.
Yeah, it's like money from the neck. But man, I couldn't do it.
I did college. That was how I first started becoming a full-time comic, was like colleges and stuff. I had a college agent pretty young, and like the thing is that like I'm not dirty, but I'm not relatable. You know what I mean? Like they also don't tell you like I never lived a teenager's life. I was doing stand-up when I was 16. So like,
you had all that liquid ecstasy.
Yeah, no, I was a drug addict. No,
but that is the problem with all of that is starting at 19, even 21 to some degree. But you did start at 21, and you were like, you really were. You moved from home. you kind of had like, you did a college experience. Like I was a babysitter for my brother and sisters for most of the time. My experiences were pretty common growing up for the most part. And then you're 19, you're like I'm funny, but you're drawing from zero life.
Yeah.
There's nothing to talk about.
Oh,
So
nobody-
all I had was like Dice Clay was always made me laugh, so I'd go do dirty stuff. And then colleges were like, you can't do that.
Yeah. You can't open with an anal joke.
And I was
Jesus.
like, oh, but I thought, in my mind, I'm like, it's college. We're all kids, and it's stupid, right? I'm going to get laid a bunch. No, dude, it was so the opposite. Sometimes they'd ask me to leave quickly after the show.
I've never felt older than when I first got. I was probably like 23 when I got my first college gig. So it's like 2 years replaced from college. And I was like, I'm going to go. I was drinking. I was like, I'll fucking rip it up.
Easy.
Probably be at a house party or whatever. And I've never felt older. That was the oldest I've ever felt. When I went to go do stand-up for college kids, and I was like, what's going on? And they were like, I don't know. And I'm like, am I? Oh, no. I'm fucking old. And I did okay. Got my money. Got the fuck out of there.
In a 25-year almost now career, I've done, my guess is 10 or less colleges. That's very low.
Did you go to college?
No.
Did you go to
I
college?
went for a month.
Yeah.
you finish?
Shout out University of Arizona.
I went to the new school, and like it wasn't a traditional college. Like I didn't take any math or science. Like I literally went for writing. I read a bunch of books. I wrote a bunch of essays, and you can see what happened.
You have a
But-
degree?
I do, but what am I going to do?
What
with
is it, associate, bachelor's?
It's a bachelor's in writing. I mean, I did write a book. You
No, yeah.
You
yeah.
actually
get it.
did use your degree.
Yeah,
It
you
just
can-
it took like 20 years. I did call up my dad when I got my book published. I was like, I finally used my degree. He's like, don't call me up and tell me that.
Her
That's
book,
very
Liz's
upsetting.
book, Why Cats Are Assholes, is available on Amazon. Go pick it up.
Why? Thank you.
Yeah.
But why I asked is like not only was I not living it, like I genuinely, like there are people in the city, half our community has known me since I was 16 years old, and I would bring peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and all my school books, and I would like hand out flyers at Ha, and I would like do like the Laugh Lounge because that opened up around when I was 19, and I would do my homework and I would eat peanut butter and jelly and I would like do spots and then I would study in between sets. Like there's people, so I half the time all my friends that were like partying doing drugs, I was like I would show up at 1 and they were all drunk and it wasn't fun and I would go back home.
Yeah.
So even when I would do colleges, like I haven't lived this I didn't even live a traditional life because I watched my siblings when I was younger, so I was either watching my siblings or doing stand up. And like I was actually just telling somebody recently, like I did a lot of drugs and I drank a lot when I was a teenager because I was sad and that's what you're supposed to do.
For sure.
But I got into stand up and that was really kind of cheesy enough what saved me. But I would go to these house parties when I was like 14, 15 years old. And, we just had one computer and one printer and I didn't want anybody to know I was writing jokes. So I'd go to a house party. All my friends are like having sex and doing drugs. And I was like, oh, sweet computer. And I would type up my jokes and print them out. And people would be like, are you having fun? I was like, yeah, I think I wrote 3 jokes. Like,
That's so funny.
Genuinely.
Someone's in the backyard like, I just threw up in the backyard. Liz, what are you doing? And she goes, you know what's crazy is when you do walk in, they say that. And that's going to lead me.
Well, we talked about this before, I think, on the show. It was funny to watch that thing of like my everyday friends. I was doing something so off the kind of books of what they were like, what? You're doing comedy, but like the Eagles are playing Monday. Do you know what I mean? Or like
Yeah.
whatever. It's like, what about the. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to these open mics on a Tuesday night. He goes, that's 10-cent wing night over at blah, blah, blahs, and we all watch this. Or, you know what I mean? Or we all go here. Or we hang and they just drink and they just really didn't have any kind of. So it was weird to like lose, again, not having experiences because I was doing comedy.
Yeah.
It's like you almost have to start doing comedy and get out there and to have some like life experience. It's very interesting to like
I had to circle back
to draw
here.
from nothing because I'd go my friends. It's funny watching them all move on and you're kind of like I don't even know what it is I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not really moving on because I'm hanging out at a thing and they go, I was talking to Breakout last night. My everyday friends are like, who? And you go, Breakout is a 45-year-old black dude I do comedy with. And they're like,
Yeah.
aren't you 19? I'm like, yeah, no, he's great though. He's good.
It's also you just use old name Earthquake. You don't know Earthquake? Like you're just using.
Dude, it was much sadder
Oh,
for me.
Philly he goes, dude, Beefy Funny said the funniest thing yesterday. I go, Beefy Funny? You're like, oh, he's the best, dude. He's not a 40-year-old black guy with freckles on his face. He's wild, dude. I think he might be on drugs.
Tucson was sadder because I would be at the University of Arizona and they'd be like, we're going to go to this crazy party at SAE. What are you doing? And you're like, I'm opening for Marciel the Clown. What was his name? There was a silent clown and his wife played the piccolo. And I was like, I'm featuring. TC Hatter. His name was TC Hatter and Marcy Ann. And they were like, I'd be like, I'm featuring for him if you want to come or whatever. And they're like,
It's a silent clown, and then she plays the piccolo. It's a comedy act?
yeah.
It's a clown act, I guess.
Yeah.
TC Hattern?
TC
Hatter.
Hatter.
Oh,
And by the
Piccolo's
way,
happening.
what's crazy is he's jacked. I didn't open for him when I was in college. I opened when I went back, and he's in a clown. He's in like a big suit or
You
whatever.
have to be. People try to kill you all
Yeah,
the time.
There it is, dude.
Wow.
By the way, that guy's jacked. He'd take his suit
He
coat
also looks
off.
like a big guy.
Yeah, dude. There it is. And they were staying in the.
It's
They were.
a clarinet. No.
Oh, it is. Sorry.
I don't want to fact
Dude.
check.
I thought it was the piccolo. I swear it used to be the piccolo. And I would
Dude.
stay in the condo with them and be like, "This is fucked up."
This guy's got a dark past.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, Jay, when you saw his body
Yeah.
and him out of the makeup, I was like, were you one of the guys in Heat?
Yeah.
Like, he looks like he's like a
He's
career
got a dark
colonel.
past, yeah.
Dude, and so I would be like, because Tucson, it was like a C room. So you'd be like, yeah, you probably saw him on Showtime's Dirtiest Dozens back in 86. And they're like, I didn't. I'm going to go to Star Ranch and do cocaine. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go doing guest sets for Tommy Davidson.
It's also so weird that like you'll have these things that feel like accomplishments, or you feel like you're leveling up, or you're getting further, and you feel like you have no one to share it with. Like you just I remember even just being like,
Oh,
upset
no one
about-
understands the thing that goes, I did fucking 10 minutes straight through tonight. And they're like, what?
Yeah, I
They
don't.
go, 10 whole minutes. You go, you know how fucking crazy it is to talk for 10 minutes with nobody talking back to you?
Yeah,
I'm flying.
You're
I'm flying.
you're just talking. They're not
flying.
talking to you. You just talk. That's
But
nuts.
But I think like any kind of pursuit is like that. Like when you start doing something,
Yeah.
like not only comedy, but anything, when you start getting into it, you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
What the fuck? And you like look around and people are like, what are you doing? And you're like, I don't know. Because I remember before I was too big of a pussy to try to do stand up, and I did radio. I worked at KFMA. Shout out KFMA Day.
It's not a real thing.
It is a real thing.
This is
It's the largest outdoor concert in the Southwest, and I would leave parties to go do overnights at the radio station. So they'd be like playing beer pong, and I'd be like, "All right, I gotta go." And they're like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "40 minutes nonstop, New Rock."
Yeah,
You'll
well,
see. You'll see once that legal plays. You're gonna hear some System of a Down into Lincoln Park. But it was like I was like 19 when that was happening, so I
Yeah.
get it because all the 19-year-old kids were like, "Oh, we're raging tonight," and I was like, "I'm raging
Well,
against the machine."
and then
It's a power rap.
You know, when I came to New York, also that's the other thing that's telling too. When I got here, I could have maybe done a life of like trains. I always drove, but like I could have done trains and drank more and do whatever. But my thing was also my ex got pregnant with my daughter. I mean, my daughter's going to be 20 next month. So like,
You're so old.
it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. So
I can't believe you're someone's dad. That's more mind blowing.
She's, dude, Isabella's a full adult now, dude.
I'm
20
sure she's
20 years old.
awesome
I
because
remember
she had
Isabella
to be because
being-
you're her dad.
I remember Isabella being a little girl and being amazed at me sitting on the floor,
drinking milk for dinner.
you know.
She never forgets. But I say having her so young, like I had to go back. My ex was in like law school at one
Yeah.
point during that, and when she was little. So when everyone was just getting done the shows, and I would get done my last show, and everyone's let's go to the Bag It In,
Yeah, you're like, I gotta go
or
be a dad.
let's go over to the thing. It was like I was like I got to take care of a kid all day tomorrow. So and also I'm driving, so I can't really drink or anything. So and I think like about 3 years. Probably about 3 years into being in New York was when I really started smoking weed a lot.
Yeah.
But I never did before. But I
So
missed.
did you go back
but I
and forth
missed-
from Philly?
I
Because
didn't
you
ha-
started in Philly,
at
right?
first for like the first 2 years, and then I
Okay.
moved up after 9/11 because it was too hard to.
Because
keep
you were
driving
just
back.
like, what? All the terrorists, they forgot about me.
No, it was taking 9 hours to get
Yeah.
here and home. It was just taking so long
Yeah.
to drive. So, yeah, circumstantially, I just moved up. But yeah, always having that responsibility too. I missed out on a lot of experience of because every like comics, especially in their 30s, stories are them fucking up in their 20s, like drinking and the nights they got wild and did whatever. And through that, I didn't have it.
Yeah.
I really didn't have any of those things at all. So it was funny, like to find those stories more like in my 30s and 40s, where you're like, oh, we got fucked up last night at Pink Floyd concert.
But that makes sense.
Are you telling a story from 1967? Like, no, yesterday.
When Jay moved into the city with me, it was like the first time I think ever in New York comedy that you weren't driving. And I started drinking again. And so there was like a good 2 or 3 years where we were just like fucking 21 raging again.
You guys are
I was fine.
such a bad influence.
I was fine. I hadn't developed a problem.
I can still
I can still drink to this day. Christine has a problem.
Yeah, but when I like,
But it's adorable.
Jay doesn't
Until it's
drink
not.
the way we were drinking. Like Jay doesn't drink. Like he has like he'll drink like 3 shots and have a beer and like that's his night. When he was drinking with me, we'd like do the shots and then I want another shot and another shot later and then like more.
I can't
beers.
imagine what
By
it's
the way,
like.
I still do this. What you're saying? I still do what you're saying. I start with 3 shots over the course of the rest of the night. I'll do like up to like maybe 3 more. But if I start feeling fucking like like oh shit, I'm like feeling it, I'll stop drinking. I don't have like I don't go. We gotta ride this. I don't have that gene.
I'm also like, so I like smoked a lot and I drank a lot when I was a teenager because I was sad. Like that's, you just kind of self-medicate. And then I got into comedy. I didn't do it. I found what I liked. And then I think it's been over 8 years. I stopped because of stomach issues, but I never was. Weed I can't do because I have panic attacks. I really am actually very resentful that got taken away from me because I never had a problem.
You should just push through it.
Dude, well, I started because
That is the answer, unfortunately.
And it really is.
No,
'cause a lot of times I've
I
had
have
some
like
scary ones.
No, like panic attack while high is the worst thing that can ever happen. Because like I've had panic
Totally.
attacks and I've been very high and freaked out. Panic attack, those are like.
Sure.
But you know what?
You have
No,
to.
I don't like the way your eyes are looking at me. You're like
You have
literally
to.
looking at me like I didn't try hard enough. Go
Miele,
fuck yourself.
You have to.
Liz?
You have to push through.
No,
Liz?
push through.
Hey?
I was like going to murder somebody.
Liz?
No, stop
Right.
it.
Don't
No,
murder
stop.
anybody,
Guys?
and get beyond it.
Liz,
I'm not gonna have you
specifically-
teach me to do
Liz?
drugs better.
Liz?
I don't want to end up like you.
Every sea captain sees a storm as a new opportunity. You need to learn how to
You see past the panic attack.
push.
I hate both of
Push
you.
through. And that's also known as the fetal position.
There's a panic attack right here. You're looking through it.
Little trick of the trade. You can nap right through those.
Oh no! I've woken up still having a panic attack.
Oh,
yeah, me too.
Awful.
Oh, it's awful.
Me too.
Oh, it's fucking
I'm like,
awful.
it's still happening.
We have to take another break.
We do. Should we say goodbye to Liz? We
Yeah,
give
so-
a
so
pleasant
we got-
goodbye instead of rushing her out.
Yeah.
At the end.
Liz's new special, The Ghost of Academic Futures, streaming now on YouTube. You can catch Liz on the road with dates coming up. Long Island at Governors. You got Des Moines, Iowa, Rutherford, New Jersey, Salt Lake City, and Tampa. For tickets and all other tour dates, visit LizMiele.com. That's
the book?
MIELE.com.
And our book, Why Cats Are Assholes, also available on Amazon.
Our old friend Liz Miele.
Thanks, guys.
Our old
So
young
glad
friend,
I came
Liz
here for
Miele.
the first time ever.
Oh yeah.
The 20th time.
You know
What's
what?
your 20th appearance like?
This is a good. This is a really good premiere appearance for you. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna have you back.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. I'll wear the same outfit just to really fuck with you guys.
Liz Miele, everybody, make sure you check it out, and we will be right back to say goodbye. It's the Bonfire.
You've been listening to SiriusXM's Bonfire. New episodes every Tuesday through Friday mornings and full shows always on SiriusXM.